And take some photos also. I guess we better do syndication here.
Syndicate. That's what I was thinking about. Yeah.
I'd like to thank also all these volunteers who are standing here, who are working with no compensation, just out of their own passion to get this project done. So why? Why are these people so interested in getting community radio on the air? What's special about community radio? So our radio station is going to be an all-volunteer operation. The members of the community are going to be the ones who operate the station, who are on the air, personalities who will produce many of the shows, and who will help determine the direction and the goals of the station. And because radio is so accessible, it's cheap to produce and it's available free everywhere that the signal reaches, we have new opportunities to share. We can share our music, our poetry, our stories, our goals, our events, our passions, and our opinions. I'm going to cut short here because I think Mayor Jordan has an appointment shortly. So Mayor Jordan, if you'd like to say a few words, and then we'll move on from there.
Why I think this radio station is so important, why I think federal community radio is so vitally important to this city. There's three guiding principles that we guide the city by. It's the same guiding principles I guide my life by. That's an open door and an open mind and an open heart. We believe that this city the door is open for everybody to come in here, and then we believe in an open mind where people can express themselves and have the freedom of speech. Yes. And then lastly, we believe in an open heart where we serve rather than being served. And I think this community radio exemplifies that very statement, that it is about community building community. And there's two types of government you can have. You can have a consumer-based government that says, what's in it for me, what do I get out of it? Or you can have what I believe what we have here is a partnership-based government, said that we are all part owners of this city and we all move it forward together. This radio station, all the partners and this community moves this city to a new level. So it's a wonderful honor and privilege for me to be here today, and you certainly have my support. Thank you.
I'd like to, I already introduced Lisa Sharp, but Lisa, perhaps you could say a few words with your generosity and help. This radio station is going to begin a great, will have a great future.
Okay. Omni Center and Nightbird Books have had a partnership from the very beginning. We have similar interests. We want to serve the community. We want to be a place for the community to gather and express itself. And this radio station just falls into that perfectly. Of course, I'd love to sell a lot of books in this place, but really it's become a community center, a place where people who care about words, care about books, care about Fayetteville can gather, and I think this is going to be a wonderful addition to all that. Thank you.
Matt Petty would like to say a few words as well. He's the alderman in Ward 2, and we are going to be broadcasting right in the heart of Ward 2.
Well, I actually asked Motion not to give me the opportunity to take credit for something I wasn't really a part of. But I am very thankful and grateful to all the volunteers, really, for doing this. I know that Joe Newman has been working on this, at least talking about this idea for years, since I first came to Fayetteville more than a decade ago, and I got involved with the Omni Center. So I really, I'm excited to see all that effort finally culminating into something that's real, something for the community, and I can't wait to tune in.
All right.
And coming back to Joe, who I will think will speak a little bit further about Fayetteville Community Radio and what the prospect is for our community.
Yeah. Well, I have a lot of information about how this project came about and what it will consist of. Hopefully answer a lot of your questions. So in October of 2013, Fayetteville Community Radio applied for a license to operate a nonprofit educational station on 97.3 FM. We did that under the auspices of the Omni Center for Peace, Justice, and Ecology, which is a local nonprofit that supports many local organizations under their umbrella. And again, I'd like to thank Lisa Sharp for making this possible. We will have a studio room upstairs, somewhere on top of this building. We're going to be broadcasting from high above Dixon Street. And again, without this place offered for a very low investment on our part, this would be a very difficult project to pull off this year. Our signal, we hope to reach most of Fayetteville. The hills can be a problem in places, and some outlying areas as well. And we're also looking at future opportunities to increase our signal when circumstances will allow. We're hoping to begin broadcasting to be on the air this year. In order to do that, we have to build the studio, get the transmitter antenna, and so on. There's lots of things, lots of expenses. So on Sunday, March 16th, at Greenhouse Grill, who again is generously offering us the space for this fundraiser, Sunday, March 16th from 5 to 8 p.m., we are going to have our first fundraiser. With the cash on hand and with what we hope to raise at the Greenhouse Grill, we hope to get halfway to our goal of $30,000. The fundraiser is going to consist of music, food, door prizes, and a fantastic silent auction. Everyone who attends is going to help us meet this goal this year. Just a little background on how this came about. In their Community Radio Act of 2010, the Local Community Radio Act of 2010, allowed small, low-power FM stations to be placed in between larger stations. It was designed only for community groups, for local nonprofit groups. We're only allowed to broadcast at 100 watts effective power, so the signal's somewhat limited. That may change in the future, but for now, that's our limits. So, after people find out a little bit about what community radio is, they often ask me, what kind of shows are you going to have on community radio? So, my long answer consists of a list of things. It's going to be local DJs, musicians, storytellers, and poets. It's going to be community groups and causes. It's going to be lively, as in live music and live events. It's going to be young and old people learning how to produce radio shows. It's going to be your neighbors who you haven't gotten to know yet. It's going to be creative voices, children's voices, and voices you've not yet heard. And we're going to hear from ordinary people who we may discover aren't so ordinary after all. And that's my long answer, but sometimes I also answer with another question, a short answer. When they ask me what community radio will be, I ask, what is your vision for a local radio station? What do you want to see and say to Fayetteville? What kind of a show would you like to produce? And what kind of radio station will you create? The big picture for our programming goals are identified by our mission statement, which reads as follows. Fayetteville Community Radio features locally produced programming and presents cultural, artistic, and political perspectives currently underrepresented in the media. Our goal is to inform and empower listeners to play an active role in our radio station and in the community. Our programming promotes equality, peace, sustainability, democracy, and social and economic justice. There's a phrase that media reform activists like to use, be the media. We intend to give members of media to speak to their neighbors about things that matter to them, to provide an opportunity to be widely heard and to share with the larger community, to send your message over the airwaves to a potential audience of 75,000 people. So who's going to help build this radio station? This is going to be a really busy year. We will have to raise $30,000. We'll have to prepare the studio upstairs. We will have to put a mast and an antenna on top of Nightbird's roof, purchase all the broadcast and audio equipment, and refurbish a production studio, which we already have going on the north side of town at the Omni Center. We will learn how to use all this equipment. We will learn to be DJs and producers, and we're going to teach others to do this as well. We need to learn the rules and regulations and management of a radio station, and that's why we need you, the community. Our volunteers have brought considerable expertise in audio, music, radio, computer, public relations, and engineering, but we need more of you, more hands-on. Become a supporter and become a volunteer. You can find our contact information in the handouts, and you can email us or call us to get involved. Just one more little short thing. The airwaves belong to the public, and the FCC grants licenses to broadcasters with the understanding that they'll serve the public interest. The dominance of the airwaves by a few large corporations does not fulfill that intent. Everyone has a voice, but not everyone has a megaphone. So who speaks the loudest and who gets heard? Information from a diverse, competitive, and independent sources of media is vitally important to the health of a democracy. So we'll see who knocks on our studio door. If you've got something to say or something to play, come and see us today. Again, you can get our contact information on our handouts. Thank you.
Thank you, John. And finally, we are going to be having our big kickoff event March 16th, Sunday, at the Greenhouse Grill, 5 till 8. A great silent auction, and that's how we hope to raise the funds that we're looking to raise. And Olivia Hines, part of our fundraising committee, would like to speak just a little bit about the fundraising event. Olivia?
Hi, I just have a few words about it. This is such an exciting time. We really are working with a blank canvas, and you guys are all the paint. And so I hope that, you know, we can come together. I know we're all talking about community this, community that, but that word really can't be emphasized enough, because without all of you, it's not possible. And it's all there, it's all ready for us. So I hope to see you at the Greenhouse Grill. It's going to be good food, good music, wonderful silent auction items, and a really good time. And that's the time to kind of create and come together and form the idea, paint that picture. Thank you.
Thank you all for coming, and we'll see you Sunday, March 16th at the Greenhouse Grill.
All right.